What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. My name is Carrie. Today, I'm wearing a Christmas sweater, and it's time. It is time to look at my fountain pen collection for 2021. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my collection. This is not all of my collection, technically. But this is my primary collection. So I am not going to spend a ton of time on each individual pen because, as you can imagine, that would take quite some time. I have reviews of every single pen that is featured here, with the exception, I think, of this one. This one is the Aurora Optima, one of the limited edition ones, I think from 2017. Can't quite remember. But the reason why I didn't do this one particularly is because I have multiple others that I've done, so it's just the finish that's different. But every other pen has a review. Actually, this one doesn't either, but again, it's because I did the amber instead. So I'm going to start with this guy over here. This holds all of my Caveaco Sports. I've left one out here just sort of to be representative of the collection. This has been a few years in the making. Pretty much my history with Caveacos is I bought a couple, sold them, then fell in love with them again. So I have, yes, Parker, I can hear you. A bunch of extra fines, a bunch of fines, mediums, broad, double broad, all that kind of good stuff. So I have a whole mess of them in here. So that is definitely part of the collection. You just don't see it as displayed. Then I have 3 Leonardo Momento Zeros, 2 that are grande version, 1 that is not. This one is the Perugna from 2021. This is the regular size. This is the grande from Jonathan Brooks. Primary manipulation. That's the word I was looking for. And then this one is from 2019. It's sort of that coffee brown version. I can't quite remember what it's actually called. But I am obsessed with very warm brown type pens, as you can tell by this kind of stuff. My Sailor over here, this one, I really dig this kind of aesthetic. Then I have a Wancher Dream pen. This is in their Urushi lacquer, their Tamanaki Urushi. It's got a gold nib with an ebonite feed. This was from their Kickstarter way back when. They've done other Kickstarters since, but this is their initial one. This is the pen that got me into Wancher. I've had many pens since, have sold them, but this one I think I'll probably always keep because it's the first Urushi pen I've ever had, and it just holds a special place. Stay tuned to the end. I'll get a little bit more specific details on all of the pens that I will actually be selling in the near future. This one is the Homo Sapiens from Visconti, the Midnight in Florence. I've had this for a few years now. It's not one that I use on a day-to-day basis, but every once in a while I do pull it out. It's a bit of a pain in the tuchus to clean, but I pretty much only keep one ink in it, which is why it's actually kind of stain the bottom of the barrel a little bit. Then I know you may be shocked. I do have a TWSBI Eco. This is the Eco T, which you will be seeing well, I've already have a review of just this pen, but you'll be seeing a special one coming up soon, featuring a bunch of different triangle pens. Not all of them, definitely, but the reason why I wanted to keep this one is just because occasionally I do like to use inks that have sparkles and stuff like that in it, and I don't want to put them in pretty much any other pen. I say this with as much love in my heart. I don't care about this pen. So if it something happens to it, it won't really break my heart. But you can completely disassemble this one. So it's a good pen to put some more challenging inks into. And then I have my Aurora Optimas. For those who've been watching me for a long time, you know I went through an obsessive phase with Aurora Optimas. I had way, way, way more. I think I had like 8 or 9 at one point. But I have sold a bunch, will be selling a couple more, but these are the 3 that I'm going to keep permanently in my collection. This one is actually currently inked up with Robert Oster Stormy Night, and actually I'm almost out of it. This has a stub nib on it. It is absolutely a stunner of a pen. This is also one of their limited editions. And I actually got that one from La Couronne de Comte, I think. I think it was the first thing I ever ordered from them. And then this was the Aurora that started it all. And then that special edition there. Then a pen that would pretty much holds a special place in my heart, the Platinum 3776 in chartreuse blue. I don't really care the fact that it's blue. It's just this was the first gold nib pen I ever purchased. And I just love it. I love it so much. It has a very, very fine line because it is a fine nib. And it is a little bit toothy, which I typically don't like. But there's just something about this one that just gets me good. Then I have the Pilot Custom 912 Falcon nib. This one is currently inked up with Diamine Gingerbread. This has the Falcon nib, and I also have the Ebonite feed that is in here. I have gushed about this pen many, many times. I will probably never, ever, ever sell this pen. I love it tremendously. Then I have 2 Pilot Custom 823s. This was my initial one. I've had this for many years now. This has a medium nib on it that I like to ink up with my Montblanc James Purdy & Son single malt. This one is a newer. I think I purchased this in January of 2021. Has a fine nib and is currently inked up actually with KWZ Northern Twilight. I really, really like these pens. I love the way they feel. I love the weight. I love the fact that it is a vacuum because I do typically keep these inked up for a month or so at a time before I will clean them out. And then I have my Pilot Custom 74 with a medium nib. I love how squishy this nib is. It's just mind-blowing to me. I do want to get a bunch of the different colors. I really want to get the new like icy blue color that looks dynamite. A Pilot Metro, relatively new actually acquire for me. I've had many Pilot Metros in my fountain pen collection at some point or another. Much like the TWSBI, I just wanted a pen in my collection other than the Caveaco Sport that wasn't on the higher end price-wise, so I could be a little bit more daring with the ink choices, or sometimes I just don't want to use a really expensive pen, especially if I'm on the go. And then I have a Montblanc 146. This is the Le Petit Prince version. The second one that came out, I can't remember the addendum to it. I have also the blue one that has like prints all over the cap. But spoiler, I'm going to be selling that pen because I just don't use it very often. I use this one more. So I kept this one in the collection. Then, of course, all of my Caveaco Sports. This one actually is currently inked up with Diamine Polar Glow. It's actually almost empty, so I need to refill it. But I quite like it. Then a pen I've had in my collection since I think 2017. I think so. It's a fine nib, which acts basically almost like a broad. Pelican M805 Streisman. I picked this up at the very first Scriptus pen show I ever went to, and I absolutely adore it. Then I have 3 Lamy 2000s. I started, of course, with the Black Macaron, like pretty much everyone. This one has a medium nib. This is the blue Bauhaus version that came out in 2020. And then the brown Bauhaus version that came out in 2021. So I have a medium nib, a fine nib, and an oblique medium. So all of my Lamy 2000s. And then finally, the last guy on the end here is the Sailor Pro Gear coffee mocha brown. I've seen many names for it. It's not one that is widely purchasable in North America, so I think that's why it has multiple different names. But I quite like the Sailor Pro Gear size. I really like the like squared ends, despite the fact that I have so many that are cigar shape. You'll notice that most of my pens have somewhat of that flat tops thing, if I can help it. So these are the pens that are in my permanent collection. I'm happy with this collection, but I have so many, like a ridiculous amount. I do have other pens that I use that aren't necessarily fountain pens. Like I do have this Euchre's fine liner that I use. I do have a couple Retro 51s. These are both the Christmas versions. But basically this is my array here. I have a ton of fountain pens that I'm going to be putting up for sale. So I do have like 1 billion pens to sell, like almost 40, I think. And a bunch of like ones that will actually come with like additional nibs and things like that. They're all wonderful pens and I love them a lot. I have also done full reviews of all of those pens that you'll be able to see and watch on my YouTube channel as well. The reason why I'm selling them is primarily 3 factors. 1, I have a lot of pens. I have a lot of pens and I can't use them all, so why have them? I'd rather them go to a new home where somebody's gonna be able to use them on the regular and appreciate them, rather than just kind of sitting in a drawer waiting to be used and then not really ever being used. 2, I need the money to buy new fountain pen stuff so I can keep making content for you. Just 100% full and transparent. And 3, I'm moving into a condo this year, so I need money to buy stuff. Just fully transparent. So I have done sales before on YouTube as well as my Instagram page. What I'm thinking this time is my sale is going to be very, very similar to the way that I did it last time, where I make a whole YouTube video about it, and within about a week or 2, just through emails and Instagram direct messages, they get sold and I ship them to you. This time around, it's going to be basically the exact same thing, but I am officially, thanks to your guys' feedback, going to be starting a Patreon page early in 2022. Oh my goodness. So by the end of January, I'll have that up and running. And pretty much the very first thing that I'm going to be offering through that Patreon page is you get first dibs on every pen that I sell. So I'm going to have the video posted there for 1 week and sell whatever sells. And then whatever's left over after that 1 week for Patreon folks, I will then create a new video and have it out for everyone who's not a Patreon person. And obviously if you are a Patreon, there will be other things. I haven't worked out every single detail because, well, I just haven't yet. But by the time I do that, of course I will. I've been hesitant to do a Patreon page forever because I didn't want to be one of those YouTubers where like I feel like I had to produce content, but I've gotten to the point now where I kind of need to be able to continue doing this kind of content for you all on this regular basis. Especially knowing that, again, I'm moving into my condo, I'll have a little bit less funds to just spend willy-nilly because the vast majority of the things that I review, I purchase with my own money. So definitely need to invest in a Patreon page so that I can keep going. Because that's pretty much what that's going to be for, is just to buy more fountain pen stuff for you guys. I'll be doing polls of saying like, hey, like these are the 4 pens I'm thinking of buying. Which one do you want to see? And then out of those 4, I'll buy that one that like, you know, Patreon folks want to see, like just things like that. So definitely stay tuned. I will make a whole video about it. Of course, I'll throw it up on my Instagram page, which is just pens and tea. And then hopefully we'll be able to build an awesome community over there. So enough rambling. That is my fountain pen collection as it stands for the end of 2021. I did not, like I said, include all the ones I'm going to sell because I don't consider them part of my permanent collection. So, like I said, stay tuned to that. That will most likely be at the end of January. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I think that is all I need to say. I appreciate you all for watching. If you're still this far in, you are the reason why I make these videos. I appreciate you with everything I have. So much. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe things, everything, all of the goodies, all of the things, all of the time. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye. You gonna say hello to the people? Hey, you gonna show them your butt and your eye crusties? Yeah.